I haven't started the meeting. Thank I have it in my pocket right here.
Your shoe might be tight, your right one.
Might be. So that's all the camera. He's stuck. Or it was custodian who went the other way, you know.
Sender's emergency. It's not that.
So if there's an emergency, like fire drill, I'm supposed to grab that bag and walk outside. And then I take attendance
Every
of all.
class that you have,
Huh?
is it every class that you have?
Yes.
I see. So no matter what time of day, you should have the.
Right. All right, I'm just gonna.
Where's the camera? What kind of camera is that?
It is a,
I mean, did you already have that?
no,
The blown video?
5 minutes. No, it's a schools. Everything's a schools. It's beautiful.
Let's see what the flowers behind us. Where are they?
Oops, pressing the wrong thing. It's gonna fall. Can you hold the camera at the top? It's there. Sink. All right.
Hopefully nobody's seeing this.
Yeah, yeah. So get pictures of me doing the thing, maybe up there. And if I'm doing an interview with a microphone in my face, please get a picture of that. That helps. All right, 4 minutes. Flowers look nice, Nancy. Good touch. Very, very good touch. Chuck E. Cheese. Video. I'm going to get a shot from behind showing the technical side. 2 minutes. Talking, 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 talking.
You might need to get this suit taken.
It's very loose. I mean, yeah. All right, screen will show live. Go to Zoom webinar screen, make sure audio and video mics are properly selected. Microphone wireless receive. I will remember. Remember, if I forget to switch the screen, just give me that. I mean, you can walk right up here and do that. It won't bother me. Or from wherever you are. That has been one of those things that I keep forgetting over and over. When I'm playing the piano teaching, I come back here. 2 minutes later, one of the students says, "Sir, we can't see your face." Like 2 minutes have gone by. So that's kind of my biggest fear.
So you're going to stand in front of this?
Yes. Look at this camera right here. Look, watch. Here's how I switch cameras here. So they're going to see this. See, I'll be talking the whole time like this. I might even sit down like this. Oh, that's going to be a better shot. Yeah. And I look right here. And according to this, am I looking right at you like this? Look here, look here. Are my eyes looking at you?
Yeah.
Okay. 10 a.m. Let's do this. And that's what I see.
Oh.
So that will help you see what I see. So if I don't switch, it's not up yet, but yeah, it should be. They're not going to see the sleeves. Maybe when I play the piano. All right, here we go. We're going.
It's bunching above your shoulders.
What?
Bunching right here.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you, honey. All right. Video, audio, 1 hour, roughly. 10 a.m. Make sure audio mics are up. Hit share screen, prep introductory video. At exactly the top of the hour, hit start webinar, wait 30 seconds. I just hit start webinar. Let me know if the orchestra screen. Yes? Okay.
The South Texas Symphonic Orchestra was founded in 2017 with one purpose in mind: provide a way for trained musicians to play the greatest music ever written, simply for the love of music. The orchestra is committed to providing meaningful educational concerts to thousands of students from all over Texas at no cost to the schools. Your host for today's presentation is the director of the South Texas Symphonic Orchestra, Ronnie Sanders.
Well, good afternoon. Well, good morning. This is Ronnie Sanders with the South Texas Symphonic Orchestra. So glad you're here. So glad you can be a part of the fun today. We are I'm coming to you live from San Antonio, Texas, which is kind of like deep in the heart of Texas. We have a lot of schools from the Texas area, folks from Schertz, Cibolo, Universal City, New Braunfels, Bernie, Georgetown. There are lots of home schools involved from Austin, Texas, Richmond, Pflugerville, even in the Rio Grande Valley in Edinburgh, and even in Hartsville, Texas. And Hartsville, Texas, if you don't know where that is, it's between Delmita and La Sarra, just north of Monte Alto. So if you know where those cities are, you'll be able to get there. We also have friends from way out of town, from Luxembourg, Wisconsin, Birmingham, Alabama. Through the magic of the internet, through the magic of invitations, we have received teachers registering students from Erie, Pennsylvania, Birmingham, Alabama, Rochester, New York, and Henrietta, New York. Now, Henrietta is just south of Rochester between Pittsburgh and Genesee Junction. So if you know where those two towns are, you're going to be just fine. You can get to Henrietta. Now, first things first, I'm going to play for you two notes on the piano, or several notes on the piano. And the most important thing about music, the most important thing, is how to respond whenever you hear this. You gotta clap 2 times. You gotta do it. I'm just telling you, you just gotta do it, okay? Let's try it again. This time you join in, okay? You ready? Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? I want to hear from your teachers. You have to clap 2 times. That is the most important thing in music. If there's one thing to learn in music, you've got to clap 2 times. Okay, last time I'm going to show you, okay? Let's do it. And you got to clap 2 times. All right. Okay, good. All right, now back to the you did clap 2 times. Okay, it was very, very good. So the first thing that we're going to play today, and by the way, we usually give these concerts live on a live stage, a live, in an auditorium. But due to COVID, we decided to go virtual this year. And the good news is we can now invite a lot more friends. As of this morning, we had 3,000, I think 134 students registered by teachers all across Texas and even up north, so we are able to reach a lot more people by doing it virtual. So next year, look for the email. We'll probably do it virtually again at the same time. Okay, now let's get to the music, okay, shall we? The first thing I'm going to play for you is called a fanfare. And there was a composer named Aaron Copland who was born in the United States, and he wrote a bunch of fanfares, and this one is called Fanfare for the Common Man. Now, a fanfare can be understood as a music that welcomes somebody of high importance, like a king, a president, a politician. If somebody comes in and they're kind of a VIP, an important person, they'll often play a fanfare. But Aaron Copland wrote a fanfare for the common man, for the regular guy and gal, just for the regular person. So this is Aaron Copland's Fanfare for the Common Man, played by the South Texas Symphonic Orchestra. You like it. Let's see if I can find it here. La-di-da, where is it here? I can tell you right now where it is. All right. Here's Aaron Copland's Fanfare for the Common Man. All right, I love that video. Did you see at the end when I went, woohoo, when I went, wow? Because when you're standing there in front of the orchestra and they play the music that you just heard, just so incredible live in concert, it just sounds so incredible. And you can describe it musically. Oh, the horns were beautiful and the percussion was wonderful. But all I could say at that moment was, wow. That's all you can say. Okay, let's go back to lesson number 1 in music appreciation, what to do and how to respond in music. All right, are you ready? I want to hear you guys all the way from San Antonio. Ready? I saw you. I can see through the camera there. I saw you there. All right, so that's the most important notes in in music. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is a dance, a cowboy dance. This is another piece of music by Aaron Copland, and he wrote a dance called rodeo. Now, we kind of pronounce it rodeo. I think that's the fancy way to pronounce it, but it's really rodeo. And it's about a family, and they are in the Midwest, and they have good times, they have hard times, and they would build people's barns for them. And then on Saturday, they'd get people who would play guitar, banjo, and stuff, and they would have a dance. And then this dance would be a hoedown, they would call it. And so you're going to hear a really fast-paced song, and it's called Hoedown from Rodeo. Okay, so let's play that now, and you will be able to enjoy it in just Hoedown from Rodeo. And hopefully it'll start in just a second. All right, here we go. Everything. Sure. Absolutely. Feel free to walk around. Now you can see that sometimes I ask some of the players to stand up, and that's because they played a real important role in that music. I asked our oboe player and our first trumpet player to stand, and that means they did a really important piece of music into the into that screen. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about, and hopefully you've had some of your teachers talk to you about major keys and minor keys. Now, major keys are kind of happy little skippy keys. Did you clap twice? You have to clap twice every time you hear that. Bum, bum, clap twice. Okay, now those are major keys. They make us feel all happy. Now, that's a major key. And a minor key is exactly the opposite. It's kind of a spooky key. Watch. You can already tell the difference. It's kind of haunting and it's kind of spooky. Listen again. So composers use major keys and minor keys to project a feeling of happiness or sadness. Now here's a happy key, so it would be kind of sad or an upbeat key. And then a sad key. Okay, now Beethoven, let's transfer that information into Beethoven. You're going to hear the orchestra play a little piece of Beethoven's 7th Symphony in just a second. And it's the second movement of the 7th Symphony. And he starts out in the key of A minor, a very dark, dark key. And not only is it a dark key, okay, that's the key of A minor, right? Very, very dark and mysterious key. But Beethoven also picks the notes at the very, very bottom of the register of the strings, the low strings, the bass, the low bass, and the cellos. Listen to this sound right here. You hear a dark, almost, I don't want to say evil, but it's just a dark, dark sound, an evil quality, mysterious or sad. Listen to this again, harshness. Now, I'm going to show you how Beethoven uses major and minor keys to kind of project what he's trying to say, happiness or sadness. Listen. So it's all in a minor key. Then he goes to a major chord. Watch. Ah, okay, so I'm not all sad. I'm a little happy. Music is like a conversation. It's like the composer is speaking to you, not using words, but using melodies and chords. So he goes to a major chord and then back to a... Now watch what he does. Back to a major chord, but immediately to a minor chord. Major chord, minor chord. I mean, in one beat of time, he's doing a major chord and a minor chord. You hear that? And then back to the minor feeling. Now, listen to the difference if I play it up in the higher notes of the piano. Minor, major, minor. Now, it changed simply by moving the notes from low to high. It didn't sound as bad as, you know. Okay, so now let's hear the orchestra play it. Listen carefully to the low strings. It's very, very soft. You might want to turn your volume up just a little bit, but listen to the orchestra play this music and listen how Beethoven plays his major chords and his minor chords. And you'll see that he puts them together in a very, very unusual way to make it so perfect. All right, let's go and share my screen. And let's hear Beethoven's the 7th movement. Just a little part of it. We won't listen to the whole thing because it's kind of long. All right, the next piece we're going to hear, thank you, I got my mic back on, thank you for that, is a piece of music from a Russian composer named Tchaikovsky, and he's very Russian, and he writes beautiful music in Russian, sort of. But he wrote a ballet called The Nutcracker many, many years ago, and a lot of times people will see it during Christmas, but I wanted to add some of our music from The Nutcracker. We've played The Nutcracker, the South Texas Symphonic Orchestra, for the San Antonio Youth Ballet twice. We had to cancel it this year because of COVID, but we hope to resume as soon as it's safe for everybody, for the players and for the dancers and stuff like that. So anyway, so you're going to hear two pieces from Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker. The first one is called Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy. Now, in this recording, I invited the young people in the audience to actually get up and do a little dance. So if you hear laughter in the background, that's because the young people are sort of dancing. So let's go right to the music of Peter Tchaikovsky and the Dance of the Sugar Plum. And I hope you like it. It's kind of just a fun piece of music. All right, now the next one is another Russian piece of music from the Nutcracker, and it's called Trepak, and that means it's the Russian dance, the Russian dance. Now, you've probably heard this before in movies and seen it before, but it's from Tchaikovsky, and it's called Trepak, and it's very, very high energy, and I hope you like it. That one's always a very, very popular tune to play because it's just so high energy and just fun. It's just fun. Don't you like it when music is just fun? When I started music many, many years ago, it was just for fun, just for the love of it. My mom gave me guitar lessons many, many years ago. And I started learning the guitar and I started playing, and then I was in music in high school, and then it just kept going, you know, for a very, very long time. Now I'm going to ask you what this is. Do you guys know what this is? Yeah, it's a music baton. It's a conductor's baton. Some call it a stick, but I call it a music baton. Now, if I do this, watch, if I do this, is there any sound that's going to be made? No, there's not, is there? There's only going to be just me waving the stick around in the air. Nothing's going to happen. It's the musicians of the orchestra that are so important. They are the ones making the sound. They're the ones that practice and have trained most of their lives for playing their instrument, whether it be a violin or a flute, oboe, clarinet, a brass instrument like a trumpet or trombone or French horn, or the percussion section, which with like the kettle drums and things like that. So, so I just wanted to show you the baton. It doesn't do much. You can tap it on something. It doesn't do much. It doesn't make any sound. The conductor can wave his hands all day and nothing's going to happen. It's because the musician is so important. You have to have the musicians to be able to make the music, and they're the ones that should get all the credit. They, you know, when people clap and you hear applause, you should thank the musicians. The conductor, he keeps the time, he selects the music, you know, he or she is very important, but it's the musicians that are really, really, to me, the most important part of the orchestra. Okay, now I'm going to play for you something from Phantom of the Opera. Now, some of you may have seen or heard and Phantom of the Opera, and I'm gonna play a few minutes of this, about 4 minutes of this, and I think you'll enjoy it. The story of Phantom of the Opera is that there's this this theater in Paris, an opera house, and underground lives a very strange creature, a very strange man, and he's got like his face covered. Maybe you've seen the shots of that. But this is, and he kind of infiltrates the opera house and causes weird things to happen. So here is Phantom of the Opera, played by the South Texas Symphonic Orchestra. you've ever seen Phantom of the Opera before, you'll recognize some of those little tunes. All right, we got a couple more selections to hear, but before I do, if you just joined us, if you kind of popped in, I want to remind you of the two most important notes in music ever written, because when you hear these notes, you have to clap 2 times. Did you do it? You better. Okay, I'm telling you. I want you to clap 2 times anytime you hear these notes. Ready? Let's try one more time. All right. Okay, good. Now we got that settled. You got to make sure you clap 2 times every time you hear those 2 notes. That's so important. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is what's called a coronation. And a coronation is something that you attend. It's kind of like a ceremony where somebody very, very important is crowned king, or maybe they put a badge on, or maybe they award him with a medal or something like that. It's a coronation. So I'm gonna play for you now a piece of music from the composer William Walton. And William Walton lived in England. He was a British composer, and he wrote a coronation for the Queen. And so we decided to play this at one of our concerts, a British music concert, and I hope you enjoy it. It's called the Crown Imperial by William Walton, one of my favorite pieces of music. Now listen, when you listen to it, I want you to imagine a king or queen walking into the room and being able to be in this great presence of the throne of the king, and then they put the crown on the king or the queen, and then they put the robe on the king or the queen, and they're quite, it's quite a scene, okay? So here is the Crown Imperial by Sir William Walton. And it was actually used of Queen Elizabeth many, many years ago. So here is Crown Imperial, played by the South Texas Symphonic Orchestra. I hope you like it. We're going to listen to the whole thing. It's about 7 minutes long, so I hope you enjoy it. Think of a king and queen walking in, okay? And you'll imagine how this sounds. as I've said before, all the applause goes to the players, the instrumentalists, the musicians. They get up in the morning, they practice for an hour, 2 hours, go to work, come back, practice another hour. And so they're really, really super dedicated. So I appreciate what they do. Now, we have two more pieces to play and then we'll be done. The next one is Stars and Stripes Forever, a wonderful patriotic song that we played here for the South Texas Symphonic Orchestra. Things about it is, as soon as we started playing it, we started handing out American flags to all the audience. I think we bought 100 or 200, 300 of them, and people started passing them out. So you might even actually see people passing out the United States flag during this performance. Stars and Stripes Forever. You've probably heard it before. It's pretty popular, and you may have seen it in movies or seen it in action films. The Stars and Stripes Forever, played by the South Texas Symphonic Orchestra. Now, a lot of times when I ask the full orchestra to stand up, that means they all did so well. They all did great. And did you hear the piccolos at the very, very end? I really, really enjoy that. All right. The last piece of music that I'm going to play for you today is, I'm waiting for that applause to die down. All right, there we go. The last piece of music that I'm going to play for you today is another piece by Beethoven, and it's in a major key. And I want you to listen to it, and I leave you with this. I want you to thank your teacher today. I want you to go up to your music teacher or your teacher that's bringing you this presentation and just tell them, thank you so much for bringing this to me, and tell her what you thought of it. Tell her what was your favorite part. And hopefully you'll come back next year. I'd love to have you back next year, and we'll do the same thing all over again with different music this time. And hopefully, if it works out, hopefully it'll be a live performance with the full orchestra behind me as I'm conducting. So here's a piece of music by Beethoven, and this will be the final thing. And be sure to watch the credits at the very end. And I hope you enjoy it. I enjoyed bringing this music to you today. Beethoven's Pathetique Sonata, second movement. Got you. I hope you enjoyed it, everybody. I'm so glad to be able to bring this to you. And hopefully I will see you next year. And it'll be just as much fun as we did. To thank your teacher today. Tell them that you really, really appreciate what you heard today. And tell them what your favorite part was. Okay? And I'll see you guys next year.